What is up, gamers? The Red Dragon here, and we are talking about the Xbox One. So, if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of Xbox One stories that are going on in the news this week, and I saw some comments where people were bashing the news sites. They're like, what is this, Xbox One week? And actually it is. So, Xbox deemed this Xbox One week where they are coming out with new videos, new information every day. And so I've been talking about the cloud. I've been talking about dedicated servers for a long time. And I've caught a lot of flack, honestly, for it, because a lot of people have said, you know, where's your proof? Microsoft, if this were true, Microsoft would be talking about it, blah, blah, blah. Well, today they're talking about it, and they finally come out and officially announced that, yes, all Xbox One games will have dedicated servers. They also go into the fact that they are offering these servers completely free to large publishers and to indie developers. So, talk about a indie developer friendly platform. They said, you know, you don't have to worry about having to learn how to set up servers and how to coordinate it, all that. They've got the system built up, so if you want to take advantage on that, then you can just focus on building your game. And the reason why gamers like dedicated servers is it's the most solid form of playing. You're going to have less lag in the game. These computers are usually optimized in parts of the country that have really fast internet, so people who connect to it, even if, you know, your neighbor doesn't have good connection and he's playing in the same game with you, his crappy connection isn't going to affect your gameplay. You're still going to have a solid experience as long as you have a good connection with the dedicated server. It's also going to be safer. That means less cheating, less you know, lag switches, less DDoS, and any of that other mess. I do want to point out that, you know, game developers are not forced to use their service. It's just there if they want to for completely free. So if you do have large publishers like EA, Activision, it is possible that they already have infrastructure in place that they want to use to do certain items. So I know Titanfall is definitely using the cloud, but for other games, I'm not really sure if they're using their own or not. But, you know, either way, whether you're on their system or on Xbox's system, more than likely they're going to be offering dedicated servers either way. Another thing Microsoft has been talking about is scalability, and I've seen a lot of comments where people keep on saying, you know, what the heck does this mean? So in the tech world, scalability is the ability for your network structure to be able to handle new loads, new work. So say for instance, how many games have you played where you took the game home, you put it in the tray, you got on multiplayer, and it's lagging all over the place, even though it's on dedicated servers. And what the publishers will come back and say, or the devs will say, is, you know, we have to add more servers. There was just too much load. It sold too many games. So the way that it's worked in the past is developers, they had to plan ahead, kind of figure out how many servers they needed for each game in each area. And if they miscalculate, then, you know, you could have a huge load and everybody's game goes to crap. So the way the Xbox One system is set up is there's already data centers there. So they're already in strategic parts of the world, and they're all over the place. And I told you a few weeks ago that they had invested $10 billion into their data center infrastructure. That number has now risen to $15 billion that they've got, and they just keep on adding more. I keep on seeing stories in the news about that. So the way it works is, say you have 1,000 people in Mexico City. They want to play a certain game on a certain game type, on a certain map. You can put that into the system. The Xbox One data center, the closest one to that region, will spin up however many servers that it needs in order to satisfy that demand from that location. And so you remember how some games, the servers would go offline after a few years. EA is really bad about pulling games offline after a few years if there's nobody playing it. See, now that would actually solve that problem, because now EA wouldn't have to worry about it. They don't have to go and pull down servers and break them down and transfer them over to something else. All that is done on the Xbox One system. The system also allows developers to go ahead and inject or change something on the fly. So look at Call of Duty, how you'll get a patch, you know, every few weeks, and in that patch there will be several different gun changes that happen, and you know it because you view the change log, you have the patch that you have to wait on to download. Now with the cloud, they could all go in there and do that, you know, by day if they wanted to. So if they look at their statistics, they look at the data that's coming in, and they look at one weapon that is overpowered, well, they could, go ahead and notch it down right there if they wanted to. And you don't ever know it because you don't have to download anything because it all happens in the back end. So I will leave links in the description box if you want to read more about this. Post below. I want to know, what do you think about this? Are you happy that Xbox is finally, coming out and confirming, what we've been talking about for a few weeks now? I guess I can't ask you if you're surprised because, well, hopefully you're not, because hopefully you've been a subscriber for a while and you knew what was coming. So if you want more, stay tuned right here to this channel. And for your latest news and updates, stay tuned to VGM, VideoGamesAndNews.com. That does it for me, The Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.